This is something quite hard to admit, but I actually was once a data hoarding control freak. Many years ago, I used to collect as much information as I could from the client for the project and put them in my task manager, in my CRM, in my project management tool, Apple Notes, create dashboards to know exactly what was going on and where. But after a while, I realized I wasn't actually using any of that information. We collect data because we think we need it, but in reality, we just don't. And over the years, as I said, I just stopped collecting pretty much any data that is just not necessary. You need data as in client name, project details, client details, and that's pretty much about it. All the dashboards and all the information, other information that you collect is just stuff for control freaks, because you think that you might need it and you might be able to control certain aspects of your business. Now, bear in mind, I work on my own and I work with small businesses and helping them to simplify stuff. And I realized that collecting as much information as you can, again, this isn't a privacy issue. This is a business running thing. You just don't need it. What you need to know is how much value are you bringing to that client? How much work are you doing for that client? How much money is in the bank? What your profit is? And that's it. You don't need any other information other than the data that you need for those two things. Everything else is just pompous stupidity. I mean, it's just not necessary. There are people with CRMs that, and in fact, I used to do this, put down dogs' names, clients, kids' names, where they went on holiday, what kind of cheese they liked, there are people that do it to that level. Now, if you're doing it to that level, two things are happening. One, you're a control freak. And second, you're just going to sound like a robot when you talk to the client, because you're not being natural when you're talking to a client. If you're doing sales, for instance. So having all that information just isn't worth the time collecting. Now, some people do it via automation like Zapier, but okay, that's fine. You've saved time in gathering that information, but are you actually going to be using that information afterwards? I've been through this, I don't know, year in, year out. I've stopped doing it now completely because I use Basecamp for my CRM. I've been through different CRMs collecting all this information and all this data. And at the end of the day, I realized, wait, I'm spending all this time, even if it's Zapier automation or doing it manually, you're collecting all this information. But at the end of the day, you're just not using it. You're just using the information in your bank account and the information, i.e. the client reviews that you're getting. They're the only two pieces of information you need to have a nice, thriving business. Everything else is just fucking pants. Stop collecting and hoarding information that you just don't need. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Enjoy your weekend. I might make a video over the weekend. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out whether I should do weekends as well. But I'll see you in the next video. As always, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Ciao. Bye.